Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Ameliorate Biotech developed a single diagnostic device for early stage detection of malaria, chikungunya and dengue from a drop of blood. Through such products, they address the unmet needs of early stage diagnostics. Let's get to know all about it.
Ameliorate was formed with the vision of making the lives of people better, and when I say making the lives of people better, which means that we are targeting on the healthcare side, and we are targeting on the diseases which are faced by a lot of common people, and it happens in masses. So, and the main vision of our company is to make diagnostics affordable and accessible for all. So that's the target, and that's what we are heading to. And also another long-term mission is that we need to work on diseases which is affected by masses, and how we can make them accessible, affordable, and also detection at an early stage, which is a key to treating the disease and the proper time. So before I tell you about the problem, I'll tell you what actually prompted us to do this. So basically, I am a scientist, and I have been myself and our co-founder Dr. Tunga. So we have been working for multiple biopharma companies all throughout in the last 15 to 20 years, and we were into heading the R&D, research and development divisions, and quality control and these things. So during this entire period, we had seen multiple cases of our relatives dying due to inaccurate diagnosis. Basically, one of the cases I would like to mention, which is very close to my heart, and this is what actually prompted us to take up this entrepreneurship and move into this journey, leaving our corporate jobs. So my 11-year-old niece, she had high fever, and that time it was she was being treated at in Hyderabad in a very good reputed hospital, and so the diagnosis happened quite late. Almost it took 3 days, and when we got to know, it was dengue. But the unfortunate part was the symptoms didn't her condition deteriorated, and she was shifted to AIIMS Delhi, and after a week actually we lost her. And during the post-mortem analysis, we got to know that she had a co-infection of malaria also, which had went undiagnosed. So it was the diagnosis, the treatment happened for dengue, but she also had some other disease which went undiagnosed, and that's why we lost her. So this incident had a huge impact on all of us, and she was the only daughter of my brother, and we all were kind of shattered. And just 2-3 years later, another incidence of hepatitis, the same thing happened, similar symptoms, and co-infection got missed out. So Ameliorate was set up to tackle this problem, where we will take up diseases like mosquito-borne diseases we have taken, whose symptoms are quite similar in the early stages of infection. And similarity of symptoms thereby leads to inaccurate diagnosis, basically because the doctors won't be able to diagnose only on the basis of the clinical symptoms. So they need to order multiple tests. So for example, a person with high fever goes to a doctor. So the doctor will suggest, okay, fine, you take paracetamol for 2-3 days, and then if the situation doesn't come down, you go after 3 days, okay, and the fever is still there. So they will order a test based on the occurrence of any disease during that time, whether it is seasonal or it could be viral, COVID, anything. So you go for the test, get it tested, next day again you come, the test comes negative. Then again you go for the second test. So this kind of situation happens routinely. So basically, in order to come to a complete conclusion, the doctor takes at least 3 to 4 days of time to get to a complete diagnosis, and then only the treatment starts. So imagine this situation happening in a remote place. okay, where you don't have a proper infrastructure of labs, lab facilities, and the primary healthcare settings, you don't have good doctors also to actually go step by step diagnosis, and step by step diagnostics won't happen there. So you have to send the samples to a city, and in city taking the samples there, getting tested, coming back, it will take a lot of time. So we wanted, so this is the problem we are trying to solve. Number one, similarity of symptoms leading to inaccurate diagnosis, and number two will be, we wanted to make a device, innovative device, where we can detect the co-infection at one go. You don't have to actually go to multiple tests to do. So it's a kind of a fever panel where a person suffering with similar symptoms, we can tell you exactly with just 2 drops of blood that this is what your disease is, if you are suffering from dengue or malaria or whatsoever. So the solution what we are offering is a single diagnostic device for simultaneous and early stage detection of dengue, malaria and chikungunya. And amidst malaria, it will also test for Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium falciparum. So in together there are 4 diseases which can be diagnosed with just 2 drops of blood, and the results will be available to the doctor in just 10 to 15 minutes. And it has a multiplexing capability so that it will detect any 2 diseases in combination or 3 diseases in combination. The entire test will be conducted on this kind of a device. As you can see here, we have mentioned here, D is written here, MF is written, MV is written here, C is written. So D is for dengue, MF for falciparum, V is for vivax, and C is for chikungunya. So, and we have also mentioned the same thing, if you can see here behind. So it's for easy interpretation of the results. So when we do the test with 2 drops of blood and whatever the buffer and the components as per the procedure, when we do, we will get one spot over here. Okay. So if we get one spot in the center, which means that the person doesn't have any of the 4 diseases. But if we get one spot here, another spot here at D at this corner, which means that the person is dengue positive. And if you get it here, it will be falciparum positive. And if you get one spot here also, one spot here also, which means the person is suffering from both dengue and falciparum. So in one of this test, with just 2 drops of blood in 10 minutes, we should be able to diagnose 4 different diseases. The added advantage of this card is that you don't need any equipments or instruments to do the test, because here we are using only whole blood. So it's a very easy thing to take out the blood and do the test. Some of the tests which are currently available in the market, they need at least some kind of steps to remove the serum or the plasma, which in this case we don't have to do. So that is one thing. Another thing is that we have providing this entire device in a very user-friendly manual. So anyone with just basic minimum, a person who can read English can do the test. And this test, since we are giving all the components, whatever is needed to do the test in this complete kit, so this test can actually be conducted in front of the patient in the clinic itself, in front of the doctor. Doctor can himself do, or a technician can do, anybody can do. So it's basically a very simple technique, and this kind of cards currently for chikungunya, it's not available in the market at all. In fact, I will say it's the first kit which is antigen detection kit for detection of chikungunya in the world. We don't have this kind of a kit at all. So actually there are 3 phases of validation when you have to launch a product in the market for it, since it's an innovative diagnostic device. So in the first phase, we do a small lab scale validation where we take a very limited number of patient samples from different labs, positive patient samples, and we do the testing, okay, in the lab itself. So that is step 1, that already we have completed. In the second stage, we have to give our device to another hospital, to any hospital, NABL accredited hospital, and tell them to do the testing on the patient's samples. So that's also we have completed. That was the second phase. Now with these 2 validation results, we have to submit these data to CDSCO. So CDSCO will tell you whether they will approve the protocol, and they will tell you whether we are ready to go for the clinical evaluation, which is the final phase. This clinical evaluation is conducted in 3 different hospitals, which is approved by CDSCO, and out of the 3 hospitals, one should be ICMR approved, and another 2 has to be, one has to be government hospital. So it's done in a very closely evaluated procedure, which is under the regulations of the government. And in that, we actually, it's a completely double-blinded study. We sponsors, we don't know actually what is happening. So those patients will come, they will do the testing with the compare our device with the reference standards, whatever is applicable in those labs in the market. So they will test that device along with our device, and then they will give a report to us. So after submission of that report to CDSCO, we'll get the marketing approval. So currently we have completed this clinical evaluation. The results have been very promising, and based on this results, currently we are getting a sensitivity of more than 97% and a specificity of more than 95%. So those data have already been submitted to CDSCO.
When we come here, at the time our proof of concept was ready. When we were, as I mentioned that when we were in the Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, from the idea to proof of concept we prepared there, and from idea to proof of concept, then a proof of concept to product. That level we reached after coming here, because this proof of concept to product, there is a lot of things need to be done, because this proof of concept to product, which is the market accessibility, that kind of hospital connect, where basically our is the healthcare product, so we need hospital connect, which we got that kind of connection from Atal Incubation Jyoti Institute Technology, and which help us to make our proof of concept to product. As this our product is a novel product, in India our product is also patented. We got the patent, and this kind of product is not available in India, and not only in India, in also in world also. This is the first time we are coming. So this product has to pass through the regulatory pathway. So as per the government, India government regulatory CDSCO pathway, we have completed the clinical trial, and now we submit the clinical trial data to CDSCO, and now we are process up to get the manufacturing and marketing license. Hopefully within 4 to 5 months time we'll get it, and then we can launch our product in the market. So 2024 September, October is our target launching date. We are hopeful for that.
See, malaria, if you see dengue, and both of these diseases have a huge, there are areas in India which are endemic to it, and people have been suffering from these diseases in like lot of maybe 100 years. So these diseases have actually been classified under the National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program of India, and they are categorized under very specific headings that these diseases needs to be eliminated from India, okay, or has to be controlled. The deaths due to dengue has to be controlled. So until and unless we do a thorough testing or the screening, it is very difficult to eliminate these diseases from our country. And there I feel our device can be a very potential tool, because it can be used as a screening tool in any remote parts of our country, because the shipping stability study and all we have done, we have found that it's quite stable. So the transportation also is not an issue. Even in the remote part, anyone can do. You don't need any specialized techniques or instrumentations or technicians to do the test. And the added advantage is that we are offering this kit at a very, very nominal price. So I hope our device will definitely help in the management of these diseases. And the major problem of co-infection, which is often overlooked by doctors, that can also be tackled by our device.